work the Humanitarian Crisis Hub is undertaking to support individuals and communities in Australia who have been affected by war and conflict and seek lasting peace in their countries of birth. We've been impressed with your work with members of the Tamil, Ogaden, Rohingya, Afghan, Congolese and other communities. ACFID was involved with the Hub this year regarding the highly successful work the Hub undertook working with the Sudanese Lost Boys Association in assisting the South Sudanese diaspora community to vote in the referendum in Australia earlier this year. This award is both acknowledgement of the dedication of the time and energy of its staff, volunteers and board, but also some recognition of the members of diaspora communities who have worked with the Hub to better raise up humanitarian concerns regarding the situation in their home countries. So, congratulations, Denise. I'll hold it while she makes a speech.
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we are on, the Ngunnawal people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and future. It is with great pleasure and a sense of honour that I'm here tonight to accept this award. It's particularly exciting for us because the Humanitarian Crisis Hub is a very small, new organisation with a new way of working. And it's extremely exciting as well because of the recognition that it implies for the work that diaspora communities in Australia are doing to promote human rights in their countries of origin who are living in war and conflict. The Humanitarian Crisis Hub is working with these groups who are promoting and working in some way for the safety, dignity and survival of their communities. Because these are the people with the most intimate understanding of those conflicts and they have a right to have their voices heard. So what we do is we provide them with training and mentoring, we link them up with other organisations and groups, and we provide them with support to carry out their work. And in our 3 years of existence, we have had the privilege of working with diasporas from all around the world, from some 20 countries from Asia, Pacific, Africa, Latin America. The groups that we work with vary greatly. They vary from a handful of people working out of someone's lounge room to community associations to Australian representatives of national NGOs. Some of them are newly arrived, others have been in Australia for years. But what they share is a commitment to promoting human rights. And they do this in several ways. By raising awareness around humanitarian and development issues, and they put a human face to these issues. They engage in policy dialogue with government and the UN. They carry out conflict resolution, both among the diasporas here and they take it back to their countries of origin as well. And of course they provide support and remittances for the people back home. But there is very little resourcing and institutional support for this kind of work. We're finding one of the ways of increasing this support is through building relationships and collaborative partnerships, particularly across different sectors. One example of this type of cooperation was the work around the South Sudan referendum that Meredith mentioned. And when we entered into a partnership with Sudanese Lost Boys Association of Australia, it brought some over 450 voters from the Northern Territory, South Australia and Tasmania to the polling centres in Melbourne. But it had the added effect of raising awareness about the crisis in Sudan, because when our South Sudanese colleagues spoke to TV and media, they were putting a very personal face to the crisis, which resonated with the Australian public. So we had people phoning up, offering their support, who ended up driving people from around rural Victoria to the polling centre. And this project had the support of so many different sectors. It was funded by AusAid, it was endorsed by ACFID and some 10 ACFID members, by the IOM. We had in-kind support from several Australian NGOs. It had the involvement of members of parliament, community sector organisations and churches. And so it was an example of what could be achieved when different sectors come together for a common purpose. There is no blueprint for this work. Since Brendan Ross from Oxfam conceived of the idea of the Humanitarian Crisis Hub some 4 years ago, we've been looking for examples around the world of this mixture of community development and human rights promotion, and we found very little. But what we have found is an opportunity to do something new that recognises and maximises the diaspora's contribution to lasting peace in their countries of origin. So in accepting this award on behalf of the Governance Committee, the volunteers and the staff of Humanitarian Crisis Hub, I would like to thank the organisations who have supported us and shared in the vision of what is possible, most particularly to Oxfam and Caritas, and also to World Vision, ActionAid, AusAid and ACFID. And I would also like to thank our diaspora colleagues for entrusting us to share in this valuable work. Our hope is that these partnerships will continue to grow and flourish and see this idea grow to its full potential. Thank you.